Word on the street is Ram trucks aren't selling. No one wants to spend $100,000 for a Dodge, and the list goes on and on and on. So I figured in this video we'll talk about if that's the case or not. So most of you guys know I had a Ram from 2019. When Ram decided to unveil that truck, I think Ram was just the best truck to buy from 2019 to about 2021. Then I feel as though they start losing a little bit of steam because obviously even back in 2019 the cabs were old, but a lot of people were willing to overlook that because it had a fresh new face. It got 1,000 pound-feet of torque with the Cummins, and they had just the best interior you can get. And I'm willing to bet you that most people will agree that Ram still probably has the best interior in the segment, especially on the half-ton side with the tungsten. There is not a truck that can compete with that right now. They have nothing. Ford, Toyota, GM, no one has a tungsten competitor. But a lot of people hate on Ram, so that's why I want to do this video. So when I go to my dealers, I always like to look at some of the trucks that I've reviewed in the past, and I wanted to see what trucks actually sold. Shockingly, a lot of the trucks that I've cracked the doors on to do reviews on, most of those trucks have sold. Now, obviously when you go to dealerships, the 1 or 2 trim levels that don't sell fast from Ram is Tradesman and Bighorn. As of right now, if I were to go online, and I'm going to show this to you guys here in a second, if I were to show you what 2024s they have left over, it's going to be majority lower trim levels like Tradesman and Bighorn. Apart from that, a lot of the higher trim level stuff is already gone. I'm on Larry H. Miller's website here in Sandy, Utah, and here's just the leftover 2024 HDs, 2500, 3500, and cabin chassis. So they have 8 Bighorns, and they actually have 10 Laramies still available. As far as the Longhorns go, these are just the two-tone trucks that are a little bit slower selling, although they do have pretty deep discounts on them too. You can have these trucks for pretty much at $90,000. This one was 102, 103. Now, as far as the Laramies go, these are more the slower selling crew cab short bed 2500. This is a 35 crew cab short bed. And then you have a dually. So these have either sport appearance or just standard painted bumpers with the chrome. A lot of people are still looking for that night edition truck. They have just maybe a couple more of these, but for the most part, the other 2 that they have available are these AEV edition trucks. They're $108,000. I mean, they were originally what, they're showing what, 130,000, and they have them marked down to 108. But yeah, for the most part, most of these trucks are going to be the chrome appearance trucks, which they are a little bit slower selling. But as I said, Bighorn and Tradesman they have 26 Tradesmen still available. I'm sure some of you guys clicked on this video because you wanted to hear me badmouth Ram. Now, I am going to show you guys some facts here in a second, so hang in there with me. A lot of people in the comment sections of videos, whether it be Ford, Ram, Chevy, GMC, everyone complains about pricing. Once they see the price, it's like game on in the comment section. And a lot of people agree. Now, some people do say, my goodness, like obviously, yes, the cars are way more expensive, but everything is more expensive. As far as Ram's pricing goes for the HDs, I think that the HDs are a little more overpriced than they should be. And that's just in part to the fact that they have the same cabs, same beds, and they haven't really made much changes on the truck. So yes, I think that Ram should be the most competitive HD currently in the segment. They should be well under, well, not well under, I would say they should be under GMC for sure. And they should be on par or cheaper than a Chevy HD for sure. Ford is going to be Ford. Ford's always kind of been the more expensive truck, especially when you consider the F450. That's probably the most expensive HD Super Duty truck in the market. As far as the half tons go, I think the half ton trucks, they're overpriced just like everything else, but The 1500s have a bigger cab, and they have the biggest cab. They're the only truck that gives you reclining rear seats, and the interior fit and finish is way up here. When you sit inside of a Ram truck and drive it, you don't have creaks and rattles like you do in other brands. Just my 2 cents, although Ford is pretty good too. But really, Ram is the most luxurious half-ton you can buy, especially with that tungsten trim. Yes, it's overpriced compared to the others, I would say, but I think Ram kind of holds the crown to the nicest truck, so they can be a little bit more expensive for the half-ton side of things. Now, I'm going to show you guys this data here. Everyone says Ram trucks don't sell. They're like, no one's buying a Ram truck right now. So this is a Car and Driver article, the 25 best-selling cars, trucks, and SUVs of 2025 so far. This is going to be for the first quarter. Be sure to pause it. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but you guys can see here it says that car sales rose 4% compared to 2024, which is 3.9 million vehicles. That's pretty insane. And it could be in part to the fact that most people knew that the tariffs were coming. So they were going out, getting their cars early on. That way they didn't have to deal with that. So let's kind of go through. I have to go back to a different screen here, unfortunately. But coming in at 25 is the Ford Maverick. I'm actually really impressed with this truck. The Maverick is a great pickup. If you need a smaller car, but you don't want to buy a compact, this is one of the best ones. I drove my first Maverick for the first time, and I was impressed. But we're going to go through this really quickly. Let's see. At 20, Subaru Crosstrek sold 43,000. Explorer, 47,314. Grand Cherokee, 48,000. That's another car a lot of people say aren't selling, but you can see right there, that's the case. They are selling. Let's see. Top 15, Hyundai Tucson's there. Corolla's at 14 at 55,000. Honda Civics actually at 13. Oh wow, I didn't know the Civic actually outsold the Corolla. Interesting. Chevy Trax almost 60,000. Toyota Tacoma is at just under 60,000. Nissan Rogue 62,000. Number 9, Camry's at 70,000. Tesla Model Y 71,000. Chevy Equinox 71. Oh, first truck. So GMC is at 77,292 sold. Pretty darn good. Now, who do you think took the number 5 spot? If you're guessing Ram, you guessed right. So the truck that is not selling is not only selling well, it took the number 5 spot for the first quarter of 2025. And remember, the Ram HDs that they just refreshed with a new powertrain just got here really within the last month. So let's just see how April on does with that new addition to the Rams. Now, who's number 4? It's not a truck, it's a SUV at 103,000. Honda CRV, insane. But what beats out the Honda CRV is that Toyota RAV4 at 115. And number 2, oh my goodness, Chevy Silverado. Chevy's killing it right now. 125,000 units sold, which is up by 12%. And GM is just killing it right now. We all know that. Lastly, who's number 1? The king of trucks, Ford F-Series. 183,000 units sold. Now, obviously, really, GM is the winner because if you combine GMC and Chevy, they outsell Ford trucks. So it's all on how you want to look at it. So what did I teach you guys in this video? Online hate is just that. Just because you don't like a brand doesn't necessarily mean that it's not selling. I know a lot of people get online and make videos about how trucks not selling. But the fact of the matter is, Rams are selling pretty good because when you peel the onion back, they're number 5 in the industry of sales. 78,000, beating out GMC. And yeah, Chevy and Ford are just killing it right now. But the fact is, people are still buying Ram trucks despite the Hurricane engine hate. They still want a Ram truck because they do have the nicest interior. They have the biggest cabs in the half-ton segment. And even though the Ram trucks, you know, the Cummins is not as good as it was in 2018 because of the cam lifters, it's still a good engine, and it can tow like no other, and it can stop like no other too, which is more important, right? But let me know your guys' thoughts. I think that once we see the numbers at the end of the second quarter of this year, I think Ram might move down a little bit in spaces because, as I said, the 2500 and 3500 refresh aren't really baked out for the whole quarter. So for this quarter, I think the Ram trucks are going to really clean up because you can now get a 3/4 ton with all the horsepower, all the torque, which you could not get in the past, which is going to really boost their sales. So hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. See you guys soon.